Welcome to the Twisted Time podcast with me, Joey, and Zayden. We have a special guest on,
Mr.
our
Pflager.
history teacher, Mr. Pflager.
He also teaches government.
Yeah,
Teaches
government.
government.
So, I say we can start with the questions. So, Mr. Pflager, when did you start teaching?
This is my 8th year. So I was at Southington for 4 years and then came here. Before that, I was actually a police officer.
Ooh. Since you go to the police academy too,
I went to the State Highway Patrol Academy.
how long did that take? Because I know,
I was there for, 16 weeks, I think it was. We were there Monday through Friday.
that's it to become a police officer.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I might have to.
There's a lot of hours that, go into it also, but
Me and Joey might become police officers.
law enforcement.
So,
I'm scared.
but what was it that made you choose to teach history or teaching in general and switch over from a police officer?
Honestly, one of the jobs that I had when I was a police officer, I worked for ODNR, so I was like a watercraft officer. We taught this kids and floats things, and I would actually teach boater safety courses. It just really kind of felt like I flowed into that. Really enjoyed it. I graduated with a degree in history, so I felt like why am I doing this? I can actually utilize this. So I went back, got my ed degree. And here we are.
So, since you have that degree, is history your favorite to teach to children, or is it a different class?
Oh no, I like history. I mean, as much as I'm sure you didn't like my class, but
I do want to add on to that. What's your favorite genre of history to teach?
so honestly, I don't know, Joey probably forgot about it, but my favorite person in history is Leonardo da Vinci. I think he's a fascinating dude. He was, the fact that he was a painter, a sculptor, and he was also pretty much somebody who, took apart human beings after they were, had died, and drew everything about them. Honestly, he's you can laugh all you want, but the thing is he's pretty cool dude. Yeah.
I'd say personally, I'm more of a Vincent Van Gogh, cut off my ears. You know what I'm talking about?
Self-harm.
Yeah.
Just slip off, let me just cut off my ear real quick. But
All right. We have loads of new exchange students this year, so I want to know what's it like as a teacher to have new students that are from different countries.
Honestly, culture-wise, it might take some time to get used to somebody. Our new foreign exchange student from South Korea, I don't really know much about their culture. It's student from Germany, real easy to get used to. My grandmother was born and raised in Germany, so I know that type of, culture. But I think it's good for Matthews. It brings some different ideas within the school, and especially in the government class. It's the ability to actually bring different types of governmental ideas and how stuff actually happens within that in their country, pretty much. So I think it's a good thing.
All right, Joey.
How do you feel about the Second Amendment with everything going on in the country right now in the past year or so?
Most people would probably find it, odd that I actually do agree with the Second Amendment, but I do agree that there needs to be some parameters with it. I own a handgun, a shotgun, and a black powder rifle. It's not that I don't own weapons, but at a point in time, I'll go back to when I was a police officer. I got to shoot a fully automatic AR. And probably the first thing I thought of after I shot that thing was no human being should ever be able to own this. It just shouldn't be something that somebody should actually have.
Yeah, especially with some of the recent mass shootings, it's a little hard to be able to have that much power in your hands.
Yeah, and it comes with a lot of training with that too. They don't just hand those out.
Do you think that being a police officer influenced how you feel about the Second Amendment?
I don't know. I've always kind of felt that way. We should be able to make sure we feel safe within our homes. It's just the way that some people just take it over and above. I always teach when we get to the Second Amendment, the fact that there's enough guns in the United States to actually have 4 per person. And not 4 per person is going to actually own a gun. So we kind of go above and beyond here in the country. We really take the Second Amendment to heart in some aspects. But
If you had to choose, what current amendment would you like to abolish?
I'd get rid of quartering of soldiers, the Third Amendment. There's no need for it. Like we have such a vast military bases and everything. There's no need to have that in there. Really, it was put in there because of after the American Revolution, they were worried about the government overstepping boundaries and having somebody a normal home have to actually house soldiers during wartime. I mean, you think about how many military bases we have. Like, there's no need for that amendment.
All right. Since you're a history teacher, you get a lot of false things about history. So, what's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Oh, I've had a lot.
What would be one that stands out to you now?
I mean, I guess like living through 9/11. I was your guys' age when 9/11 happened. I was a junior in high school, so like the whole idea that 9/11 was like an inside job. There was like jet fuel bombs planted like in the World Trade buildings, and that type of thing. It just doesn't. I don't know. Like I kind of look at it as it's crazy, and two, if the government actually did something like that, like there's got to be it would be uncovered. There would have to be a way to be uncovered,
especially by now.
Yeah. To add to that, what's a conspiracy theory where you think, that kind of makes sense actually? Like there's something missing here.
I honestly don't even. I don't know. That's a good question. Kennedy. I go with Kennedy.
Which one?
Like
about Kennedy?
the assassination of John F. Kennedy. There's just like I've been to Dallas. I've been to that area where Texas Book Repository where he was driving by and he was shot. It just something doesn't add up with that. I always go back to I like the mafia. So like I feel like the mafia had something to do with it.
All right. When there's a lot of sore spots in history. Do you feel like uncomfortable talking about that, especially with people in the classroom that might be affected by it?
I mean, honestly, that just kind of goes back to like the idea of like classroom management, making sure that that we kind of keep to the point of what the actual question was about and what we were going over. That's why I told you guys, government, like first day, I'm not gonna take the crap pretty much from, everybody has different opinions. It's more or less just making sure you understand that person's opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but understand it. Like that's the biggest part of that.
So like, when say you have a student and you're talking about like racial segregation and you have a black student, do you feel uncomfortable talking about that? Since it directly affected, say, his parents and grandparents.
I might watch my words like more, like how I'm like putting something together pretty much like as a sentence or the questions I ask. But I mean, I honestly look at it as being like the different cultures, the different races we have. Like we should learn from those different cultures and races. It doesn't really like bother me to to talk about slavery to somebody who is African American, or anything that deals with like Mexican Americans, any of those aspects, just because it's just part of the United States. Like that's just we have to learn about it.
Yeah. And you don't want to have stuff where it's like they're banning kids from learning stuff, taking books from libraries and stuff like that, because then if you take it away, it might just happen again.
Yeah, I mean that's what the Nazis did. So.
Was there anything you wanted to bring to the podcast that you want to add on yourself?
No. Hopefully you guys, get something out of my class. It's not too boring for you.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like the government class.
But hopefully you guys learn something pretty much when you guys are here. I mean, that's what our job is. So.
All
right. To pick on Joey.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's your favorite.
Thank you
for teaching.
Thank you for coming on with us. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
That was the episode. Thank you for being our special guest on this episode.
Thanks for having me.